So many companies are moving to a subscription model to grow their customer base and create more sales. But is a subscription model the right option for your business? Stay tuned as we dive into the 5 things that you need to consider when setting up a subscription model for your business. So for the best advice on how to grow your e-commerce store quickly and profitably, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell as well so you get notified every week when I release a new video. So I'm Sarah, I'm founder of the Fastnet agency, and we help exciting up-and-coming e-commerce businesses to grow their sales using digital marketing. So the first important thing to consider when considering a subscription model for your business is to start with the best possible products for your subscription. Now there's no end to the amount of products that you can use for a subscription model, and we've seen loads of things over the last few years roll into subscriptions, whether that's ordering food for your meals, to ordering shaving equipment, to ordering dog food on Amazon. Like, everything now can be applied to a subscription model, but you do need to think carefully because of course this all has to be customer led, so it has to be useful for your customer to order on a subscription basis and be tied into that ongoing fee. Now, if you can be different and innovative about this, then that will really give your subscription model a little bit of standout. So there are really 2 key drivers as to why people would order a subscription model. The first one is convenience. If people want it delivered to their door every month, they don't want to have to think about it, it's another thing off their to-do list that just gets done without them even considering it, then a subscription model is a really good basis for that. So as we say, any of those sort of things that those consumables that you go through regularly that you need topped up are a great option for a subscription model. Or maybe those things that you just don't even think about. I mean, socks actually have become a fantastic subscription model because people can never be bothered to go out to the shops and buy socks. So you know what, you subscribe and then once every 2 or 3 months you get new socks sent to your door, and that's a really useful little commodity to have. So it can be a little bit out there, it can be a little bit wacky, but the reality is if it's something that people have to actively go out and purchase and you can save them the hassle of doing that, then a subscription model works really well. The other thing that a subscription model works well for is the gifting industry, or where you kind of want to just show that little bit of love for somebody by offering them something a little bit different. So it might be that you subscribe to a box of chocolates for somebody every month, or you subscribe to, you know, a surprise beauty box every month for somebody. So that kind of gifting scenario is really good, and that can be a gift to yourself as well. So having that sort of that element of luxury, that element of surprise can also make for a really good subscription model. So have a little bit of a think about the best way that you can set that up to appeal to your customer. Now, when working out if a subscription model is going to be profitable, you need to take a good look at your metrics. So the first thing you're going to have to look at is your customer acquisition value. So how much is it going to cost for you to acquire your customers? You then need to look at their lifetime value. So how long do you think that customer is going to be subscribed for? And you need to look at your churn rate. So your churn rate is the amount of times that your customer, effectively the amount of customers that leave your subscription service versus the amount of customers that come into your subscription service. And all of those figures need to add up. For example, if it costs you £20 to acquire a customer and they stay on average for like 3 months and they spend £10 a month, then you've spent £20 to acquire that customer and they've spent £30 with you, so you've made a £10 profit. So we need to be looking at those figures quite carefully, because with a subscription model you might not necessarily make back all of that acquisition cost in the first month. So if your average customer acquisition cost is quite high and your churn rate is also quite high, so your customers are leaving quickly, they're not staying with you for a long time, then that's going to really affect your profitability. So all 3 of those metrics need to be worked on in tandem in order to ensure that your subscription service is going to be profitable. So the third thing you need to look at, based on what we mentioned in point 2, then is your pricing. Now, setting subscription pricing is always a really carefully thought through thing, because what you'll need to do is you'll need to offer some sort of incentive. So quite a lot of the time people, in order to get people into that subscription model, offer a really good discount on the first month's order. So it might be it's 50% off or 30% off, or you get something for free if you subscribe, because companies want to get people onto that subscription model. But as I say, that quite often means that first month is not going to be profitable for you, and you need to keep them for a long time. So it needs to be really carefully thought through your pricing to make it really attractive for the buyer without affecting your profitability. Now, one way that you can ensure that you get more people through the door and remain profitable is to use your existing customers to get new customers on board, which brings your customer acquisition rate much lower because you're not having to pay for advertising, you're instead relying on word of mouth. And so you can offer incentives to do that. So for example, if you've already got an existing customer and they recommend a friend, then you offer them both, say, 10% off their next order or whatever that might be. So definitely using your existing customers to help promote your product will help to lower your customer acquisition value and also increase your customers' longevity as well. So the fourth thing you need to really look at when setting up your subscription model is to make sure that your processes are slick right from the off, because the key to growing a subscription service is definitely scale. You want scalability. You want to make sure that you can grow this in order to maximize on your return on investment for your subscription model. And for that, you need to ensure that your operations are in place. So this includes ordering. How can your customers order? Is that all automated? Is it online? You need to make sure that your ordering is as slick as you can possibly make it. Fulfillment. How are you going to fulfill these orders quickly and succinctly every month? What process have you got in place to ensure that that is working as smoothly as possible? Customer information management. You don't want customers phoning you up every 5 minutes if they've got a change to their delivery address or if they've changed their phone number or any other little query that they might have. So you need to make sure that your customers have a way of managing their own subscription easily online via your store. You need to have clear cancellation policies in place in a way that customers can manage that to some degree themselves. So again, you're not having to use valuable resources on managing that. So make sure that you've got ways in which your customers can cancel online, but obviously try to make it so that they've got some sort of steps in place to discourage them from unsubscribing, because you want to try and keep your customers there for as long as possible. So whether that's having a little process that means that you offer them a discount if they continue to be a customer, there's various ways in which you can do that, but they need to be able to cancel quickly and easily online. And then there needs to be a really easy way for your customers to recommend you to other people. So they need to be able to access some sort of discount code via their dashboard that they can give to their friends and family that can be tracked back to themselves. There needs to be some way that they can quickly and easily get other people on board and apply those discount codes without you having to manually process that. So number 5, my fifth top tip to growing a subscription service is to focus on building a community. Now this is quite clever. This is where the marketing of your subscription really comes in, because a lot of these subscription models these days don't look at it so much as a product or a service. They look at it as a club. You know, that so we had the Dollar Shave Club, and we've had various other clubs where people subscribe to these things, and that's all they're doing is they're on a subscription service for products, but they feel part of a community. They feel part of a movement with other people that feel similarly to them and have similar wants and needs. Now this is a great marketing technique when it comes to building a really engaged community and an engaged customer base, because if people feel part of a club, then they feel that they are related to, like they're part of something, they're part of a movement, they're part of something a little bit different. So try and encourage this as much as possible. So whether that's putting out content that they'll really engage with, that's related to your products or services, whether that's building like a Facebook community around it, whether it's giving them special incentives or news or information, something that makes them feel part and connected of that community can really help to make your subscription model a successful one. So a good way to go about this is to try and think of your subscription model in a wider basis. So if we used our shaving subscription model, for example, so it's aimed at men, it's maybe aimed at men that are too busy to go out and buy these things on a daily basis. So maybe we're looking at professional men. Perhaps we're then looking at other things around that will save time and still keep you looking good as a professional man. So you can start to see how you can look at your customer and why they might be looking at that subscription service and what their wants and needs are. And then you can build out from that to build a community of like-minded people that are in a similar situation and deliver content and information and useful things to that community to keep them engaged and keep them on board. Now I release a new video all about growing your e-commerce brand every Thursday, so hit subscribe and click the bell as well to be notified every week when I release a new video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that useful if you're looking to set up a subscription service. Now, one of the key things about setting up a subscription is that you need to make sure that you understand your niche and you understand your target customer. So I did a video all about this over here. And if you want to find out about how you can utilize Facebook advertising to grow your subscription service using Facebook and Instagram ads, then click this link over here.